Yesterday I taught you a way to solve a system of equations. What's it called? Substitution. Friday we talked about a way to solve a system of equations. What was it called? Graphing. How are they similar? What you're trying to find is the point, right? The point of intersection. So even though substitution is not, we're not graphing, we can't visually see that point of intersection, we still write our answer as a point of intersection, okay? Today, I'm going to teach you another way. It's called elimination. It's one of my favorite ways because I get to sound like an assassin, okay? But just so you know, that's illegal. Okay, we are trying to eliminate something, but it's not a person. Okay, it's a variable. So look at number 11 right here. Okay, what do you notice about A's? They're both positive, right? What do you notice about the B's? One's positive, one's negative. Okay, what would happen at this point in time if I just combined both equations? If I combine an A and an A, what do I get? 2A. If I can combine B and a negative B, what do I get? That's 0, isn't it? What happens when I combine 19 and 7? 26. Oh my gosh, I only have one variable left. If I divide both sides by 2, what do I have left? 13. If I have one variable, can I find the other variable? How? Which one would you like to plug it into, top or bottom? So 13 plus B equals 19. B equals 6. Guys, can I write A and B as a point? Do you know about the A axis and the B axis? No, I don't. Okay? So when a situation comes like this, just make sure that you can see both variables. Okay? Look at number 12. What do you notice about the x's? They're opposites, right? A positive 5 and a negative 5, those are opposites, right? What do you notice about the y's? They're both positive. One's a 3, one's a 2. Okay? What would happen if I just combined them right now? 5x and a negative 5x? 0. 3y and 2y? 5y equals 35. Okay, I have an important question to ask you here. Can I go to here? I know I can. Is it okay for me to go from here to here for you guys? Or do I need to write this step here? If you are to the point where that makes sense to you, you may skip that step. You may do that step in your head. Is everybody clear on that? Remember I told you as we got more comfortable with solving equations, I would let you skip steps? I think we're getting there with some of these steps. Okay? So, that's the answer, right? Why not? Plug what in? Where? Where? Does it matter? 5x plus 3 times 7 equals 31. So 5x plus 21 equals 31. 5x equals 10. X equals 2. So what's my answer? How come I had to write this one as a point and not this one? Because we know x and y. Okay? Could we write this one as a point? And if I said you had to, how would you write it? Why would you choose 13, 6? Alphabetical, right? A comes before B. You got that? All right, what do you notice about the x's in 13? Well, it kind of does have a multiplier. What's its multiplier? It's a 1, right? Okay, they're both positive. One's a 9, one's a 1. What do you notice about the y's? A negative 2 and a positive 2. Would something be eliminated if I combine them right now? Okay. 10x equals 10. Oh my goodness, x equals 1. One plus 2y equals -7. 2y equals -8. Y equals -4. What's the answer? 1, -4. Questions? So, in order to eliminate a variable, what is required? 2 equations, obviously, at least 2 equations. But what's required within those equations? What do you mean by that? Opposite variables? So the coefficients, the numbers in front of the variables, opposite coefficients. Well, I had opposite coefficients here, right? A -b and a +a. Those are opposites. Oh, so the same variable has to be opposite. +5, -5. +2, -2. They're on the y's. These are on the x's. Are we good with that? So look at number 14. What would happen if I added these together right now? Would any variable be eliminated? No, and that's a problem, isn't it? Okay, I can't just add them together because that gives me an equation that still has an x and a y. So in eliminating a variable, what am I trying to do? I'm just trying to get one variable by itself. I'm actually trying to eliminate a variable. And if I add these two together right now, no variables are eliminated. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to try to eliminate a variable. What do you notice about the signs of these two numbers? They're both positive. What do you notice the signs of these two numbers? They're opposites. One's a positive, one's a negative. That might help us out. Okay? What would happen if I multiplied this entire equation right here by a 4? That would be 12x. That would be 8y. So these are now opposite, aren't they? Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to multiply this whole equation by 4. So that gives me 12x plus 8y equals 92, right? Now if I combine these two equations, is a variable eliminated? So what made the difference with the 4? It made that a +8, didn't it? Okay? But here's the deal, guys. I cannot just multiply this term by the 4. I have to keep this equation equivalent to any other equation I use. So if I want to multiply the 2y by a 4, I have to multiply the entire equation by 4. Does that make sense? Okay? Now when I combine them, what do I get? 12x and 2x. 14x. 8y and -8y. 0. 92 and 62. 154. Dividing both sides by 14. X equals 11. How do I figure out what y is? Okay, substitute it in. 3 times 11 plus 2y equals 23. So 33 plus 2y equals 23. Subtracting 33 from both sides, 2y equals -10. So y equals -5. Ask me. So, after I found x, you're saying, where do I plug it back in? What am I allowed to plug it back into to get y? Well, I can use this one right here. Okay? I can show it to you real fast if you want to, where I plug this in here. Absolutely, you would get the same answer. I can also plug it into the one I chose, or I can plug it into the other one. Yes, ma'am. Any of the equations and you'll still get the same y variable. Yes, ma'am. Will I always multiply by 4? Let me answer that question by doing another problem for you. Actually, first of all, let's write this answer so we finish it. What's the answer? 11, negative 5. Okay? What I would actually like to do is answer your question, am I always going to multiply by 4, by doing exactly the same problem again. Okay? I'm going to do this problem again. However, this time I want to first eliminate the x's. What do I have to do in order to eliminate the x's? Can I multiply both of them by something different? Absolutely. Okay? What do I want to multiply the top equation by? A 2. Okay? What do I want to multiply the bottom equation by? A 3. And what will that give me up here? A 6x and a 6x? Oh, that's not what I need. Oh, negative 3. Okay? Because I need opposite numbers, right? So if I multiply the top equation by 2, I get 6x plus 4y equals 46. And if I multiply the bottom equation by negative 3, I get negative 6x plus 24y equals negative 186. Anybody got my back on that? Excellent. Okay. Now what happens if I combine them right here? What do I get? 6x and negative 6x? 0. 4y and 24y? 28y. And 46 and negative 186. I'm combining them. I have a 46 and a negative 186. So I get negative 140, correct? Then if I divide both sides by 28, what's y equal? Oh my gosh. Negative 5. Psst. Look at this one. It's negative 5.
So it doesn't matter if this is as long as you make sure you multiply.
Correct. It doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter which ones we eliminate. Now, realistically, is sometimes one easier to eliminate than the other? In this first problem, I only had to multiply one equation by a certain number, guys, which gives me less chances to make an arithmetic error. Okay? On that problem, when I do the top part, if I do that one, yes, I have to multiply by 4 because that makes this a positive 8y and I have a negative 8y. I don't want to choose 3 because that'll give me a positive 6y and a negative 8y. Remember, I need opposite numbers.
Oh, okay, so
Whatever it takes to make it equal the other one, but opposite. Okay? Do we need to go ahead and plug this y in to find x? What am I going to find if I plug y in? 11. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? So let's look at 15. First of all, which variable do you think we should eliminate? X. What is it going to take for us to eliminate x? Negative 3. And remember, I'm multiplying this entire equation by negative 3, right? I'm not doing anything to the top equation, and you guys know how much of a visual person I am, so I'm going to rewrite that top one. And right here, the bottom one, when I multiply the entire second equation by negative 3, I get negative 3x minus 15y equals negative 186. When I combine these two, is a variable eliminated? Good. 3x and negative 3x is 0, right? What is 2y and negative 15y? Negative 13y. And what is 4 and negative 186? Negative 182. And negative 182 divided by 13? 14. Y equals 14. So here's a question that I thought you would ask by now, but you haven't. So let me make sure to address it in case you realized you didn't even know you had that question. Where do I plug this back into? Whichever one I want? Does it matter? No. Is one sometimes easier than the other one? It's kind of like that discussion we had a minute ago on which one to eliminate, right? Which one I put this back into is mostly personal choice. Which one would you personally choose for this problem? Top or bottom? Why would you choose the bottom? X is already by itself? Okay. So x plus 5 times 14 equals 62. So x plus 70 equals 62. So x equals negative 8. So what's my answer? So here's a question that honestly I have forgotten to ask you till now. But it's an important question. Is that right? Are you sure? What's 3 times negative 8? Negative 24. What's 2 times 14? 28. Negative 24 and 28 equals? Does 4 equal 4? So it fits in the first one, right? Negative 8. Okay, good. 5 times 14? Negative 8 and 70? Does 62 equal 62? Do I really have a question about whether this is right or not? Do I know for a fact that this is right? Yes. And why? I don't know what you mean by that. When I plugged my 14 in, I went back to my original equation. Okay? If I want to, I can go to this equation, but these numbers are bigger and I don't want to mess with bigger numbers. But it's perfectly fine to do that. You will get the same answer of negative 8 as if you put it in here or here or here or here. I mean, if you do all your arithmetic right. Okay? But that's a good question. Okay? It doesn't matter which one you put it into. Okay? 16. Which variable would you like to eliminate? The y? Okay, what's it going to take for me to eliminate the y? What do you mean by negative 4? I'm going to have to multiply the first equation by negative 4. Good correction. What happens when I multiply the first equation by negative 4? What do I end up with? If you're going to mess up, that's where you're going to mess up. Okay? Just to be clear, what you said the first time was negative 12x plus 8y equals 10. Negative 10, right? You forgot to multiply that last one by 4. Do you see why I put everything in parentheses? That's a visual clue for me that I got to multiply everything by negative 4. Because if I just put negative 4 like a dot times, I'll remember the first one for sure. I'll probably remember the second one. The third one is what I'll forget. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my second equation here. What happens when I combine them? Is one of my variables eliminated. What ends up here? Negative 8x. What ends up here? Nothing, because that's 0. And what ends up here? 48. What's x equal? Negative 6. Everybody okay so far? So how do I find y? Where do you want to plug this one in? Bottom one? Why did I choose the bottom one? Because you said. Okay? 4 times negative 6 minus 8y equals 8. So negative 24 minus 8y equals 8. If I add 24 to both sides, I get negative y equals 32. So what does y equal? Negative 4. So what's my answer? Is it right? Negative 18 plus 8 is negative 10. Does negative 10 equal negative 10? Yes. Negative 24 plus 32. 8. Does 8 equal 8? Then is this the right answer? Yes. Okay. We're going to quickly run through this equation at the top. Why are they wanting you to do this equation at the top? Because it's not just a one-step thing, is it? Okay. Neither one of these will go into each other easily. I can't multiply this by 2 and make it 8. Right? And I can't multiply this one by 2 and make it 5. First of all, that's dumb. And obviously not right. Okay. But I'm obviously going to have to multiply both of these equations by something to get one of the variables to be eliminated. Okay? Now what they recommend is multiplying the top by 5 and the bottom by negative 3. Why do they make that recommendation? What variable are they trying to eliminate? The y's. So let's do that. Let's multiply the entire top equation by 5. 40x plus 15y. And they even multiplied the last one for us. Okay? So that's 5 times 41, right? Bottom one by negative 3. Negative 18x minus 15y. And 39 times negative 3 is negative 117. So combine our equations. 40x and negative 18x. 32x how about 22x? Anybody have a problem with that? 40 minus 18 is 22, yes? So if I divide, excuse me, if I divide both sides by 22, what's x equal? 4. Substitute the 4 back into one of these equations. Which one do you choose? The bottom one? So 6 times 4 plus 5 times y equals 39. And this is 24 plus 5y equals 39. So if I subtract 24 from both sides, I get 5y equals 15. Y equals 3. What's the answer? Oh my gosh. They already told us. You get the idea? You have 4 problems for homework. They're right here. Just 4. Any questions?